Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Realness meets Entertainment in Color. We are back. We are together. I'm your host, Francis, with my amazing and patient co-host, Tamika Francis. How are you doing today, Tamika? How are you feeling about these last two episodes of Love Island USA Season 4, Episode 14 and 15?
A little frustrated. I will say that. Can't say I didn't see it coming. I know a lot of people were blindsided, but we had a good thing going, and I knew that the ITV producers were going to end it. We had a good thing going, guys.
And, we were trying to give these siblings, people call them weird incest siblings, which I'm like, no. I mean, I do have to say, though, I feel as though they hug too closely, like their lips are too close for my liking. I cannot imagine hugging and crying to my brother that with our faces that close as if he's like my boyfriend. Like, it's too, for me, the proximity is just a little bit too close. But right. I do feel as though, yes, I thought that Bria coming in and kind of making that whole storyline with Zimmy happen. Okay, yes, it was an entertaining point. It was interesting to see these dynamics shake out. But I don't know if the whole twin or sibling twist, if it was worth it. Because I think I liked the vibe of the villa before that they were there.
I can say, based on these two episodes, that I'm not liking the cast changes, to be honest. I feel like, and we know that they're going to put Timmy and Zeta in the background now because they're in their full love story. We might get a hideaway, we might get a date, but we're not going to get them because they want the drama. I feel like they're trying to go for a season 5 UK version for this season, where it's just high drama, lots of changes and recouplings, and it's unfortunate, I think.
Well, and so at the beginning of yesterday's episode, we have Wednesday's episode, we have Timmy being saved by the boys. We knew that was going to happen. I was hoping that Bria was going to be saved, and we do see that, that Zeta was kind of, that's which episode? I'm kind of confused with these episodes. But that Zeta was saying, I don't want, my relationship with Bria, I feel like we've shifted, we changed. I think that she deserves to be there. She deserves to have a chance. So we do hear her saying this. And then they choose Maddie. And I was like, I don't really feel like choosing Maddie if Andy's not going to be in here, because we see for most of this episode, Maddie was just crying. And I'm like, you're crying over Andy? And this is the first time I opened up, and this is why I don't open up to people, because this always happens. It always gets ruined. And so I don't want to open up because I don't want to jinx it. And it's like, this is the storyline that we're getting here now. I would really rather see Bria and Jeff try to do a thing. I don't want to see her crying. I'm like, if Andy was it, why didn't you leave with Andy then? Since Andy and Bria
I was so pissed. I was like, I don't understand why they made them keep her. I really believe they made them keep her. And to me, she and Andy could have left and cracked on, personally. I just don't get it.
So we have Island Girl, Jessica's here, Charlene, Danita, TA also says hello to everyone. Al Francisco, Chaz's speech at the end. So that was the end of yesterday's episode. It really did throw everyone off, referring to Serenity but picking Cat. We are getting to all of this. Absolutely. It was just all... Okay. We were all trying to appreciate Chaz, because you didn't like Chaz from the very beginning. which is, and then because he was being so nice to Serenity, you're like, okay, well, like, he's loving up on her, like, allow her to have this person be, in her life, if that's who she's choosing to, starting to build a connection with. And then we started to see him moving differently on Tuesday, when he was kind of like, oh, I don't feel like you give me enough attention or energy or whatnot. It's like, you know what? You're not supposed to give to get. You're supposed to give because you want to give. And so that was the first time that it seemed to me that he was only acting a certain way because he wanted her to act a certain way and not doing it because that's what he wanted to do from his heart. So that's when I started to look at him a little bit sideways. I just like, kind of like, I'm watching you, Chaz. And now 2 days later, we see what he's all about. And so I don't need him to be in the villa. I don't need his story. I almost would rather Andy over him, to be honest. I think I'd rather Tyler.
Yeah. To be honest with Chaz, I feel like they might have, like, producers might have pushed him to do all of that on purpose. I think they were trying to go for like a Danny storyline here. Do you see the similarity? Where, like, he kind of led Yewande on, and then Danny. UK season 5.
Oh, with Yewande. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And remember, Yewande was very popular in her house. She was very close to the girls, and he blindsided her, kicked her out, and then the girls kicked off. And I feel like that might be what they're going for. Because why didn't we see her leave last night?
Oh, you think she's going to pop off?
I think they're all going to pop off.
Yeah, I mean, okay, we're gonna get to those thoughts. It's because I am pissed because I don't think that this is right. I don't understand why they're doing these dumpings or these recouplings with like in less than 24 hours, and like it's the guys pay. Like it just doesn't make any sense as to why they're doing it this particular way. Like because they wanted just to make sure that Serenity is gonna get dumped. Like it's just so dumb. Like that it's so soon.
If you guys do not have time in the villa, get a longer season, because there's no reason for y'all to be dumping every 2 days. Like you dump Bria in the morning and then you dumped Serenity in the night. Like that's ridiculous. And then we've lost how many people of color in the last 2 days because of course the men that were choosing. Now it's the men's turn, and only one of them is looking to choose a Black woman. Like,
well, I mean, this is the thing, though. Maybe Jeff would have chosen Serenity because we did talk about them having a bit of a vibe, and that they could go well together. When she was giving him advice about Zeta, but like she's getting all loved up on Chaz. So like to Jeff, he seems like a guy that's a bit like bro code, and that he doesn't want to interfere something that his friend has going on, and so he probably just like didn't even have that as a possibility. And so it would have been nice if they
I don't know if he would have chosen Serenity, to be honest.
But maybe there would have been maybe they would have had a couple conversations, right? Like if
they would have at least had the conversation. I agree with that, but I think he probably would have ultimately picked Naja, because I personally feel like Naja's his type.
Naja's probably his type, but if they had a few days with these new girls in there, which has not showing Serenity any like her being able to see that he might be looking elsewhere, or that she's not giving him what he needs, then she would be like, oh, well, maybe it's going to look like Chaz might want to move on to someone else. Let me go and talk to some of the other guys that could be available. And so she might have had some conversations with Jeff, and maybe there would have been a spark. And I have to say, Serenity has a really nice butt. She was standing at one point, like at the bar outside, and she was wearing like a thong bikini. And I was like, oh my God, whoever's butt that is, she has a really nice butt. So her bum's really nice. And so isn't Jeff a bum guy? So maybe he would have seen her butt and been like, yeah, your butt is fire. So we already kind of talked about it, but Maddie was crying to Deb about something always ruins every good thing. I'm like, annoyed already that we're just gonna have to hear Maddie cry about Andy, which I'm just like, Andy didn't even really like you that way, but whatever.
And Andy on his exit interview for TikTok was like, "Oh, I will miss Maddie. We had such a." I was like, "Can we not cut the bullshit?"
It's like, stop faking it. Like, if you really had something, she would have left with you. Like, she would have left at the same time as you. So Zeta asked Timmy how it felt to be in the bottom two. And, you know, he didn't really think about it. But what he is thinking about is cherishing his relationship with Zeta and his connection that he has with her. And honestly, like, I know that you're saying that they're going to put their story in the background, but like, I still love their story. They kiss, and I'm like, oh, their kisses are so good. And then, like, you know, she's like, I don't want to sleep in the bed with Jeff. And she's like, where are you going to sleep? And he's like, I'm going to sleep in the day bed. Do you want to sleep in the day bed with me? And it's like, yes. And I'm like, it's just so cute and sweet, in my opinion. And I really relish in the Zimmy relationship. So maybe someone will come in and take Zeta on a date and be like, I'm a man, I'll show you, you know, something better than Timmy. You deserve to always be treated like a queen. Maybe someone will come in and take her on a couple of dates and then they'll go back together to create a little bit of drama. But
I think they're holding off their drama till Casa, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that they'll give them temptation there?
I think there'll be with them. I actually think their temptation is done, personally.
Because he kind of said that in this conversation. It's kind of like, you know, I really realized that I have something special with this person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think their temptation is done. I think they both realize, especially with the potential of both either possibly one of them walking out the door, that this is it for them. They do, even like that conversation that they had when they were, you know, right before he even, you know, cut it off with Bria. It was just so palpable, like how much they just wanted to be together, that they couldn't even, you know, just like stand to be away from each other. So I think they both realize that. Like I said, we'll see if like her not being in the villa and him not being in the villa, whoever goes to Casa Amor, how that's gonna work out for them. But I think they're done being tested. And so I'm looking forward to their date, because they deserve a date, and I'm looking forward to their hideaway, because they deserve a hideaway.
Yeah, and it won't gross me out. So both.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to both of those for them, absolutely. And I liked Zeta's advice and how she's like, she seems to be the pillar of strength for the women in there. So hopefully maybe she'll just be giving more like advice to people. And so we'll still see some of her.
Yeah, I think that's based on what I've seen for the last couple of days. She's basically the mother of the house right now.
So we see Chaz and Serenity, they talk, and all I wrote down is like, man, this conversation is so platonic. Like, I know that she's pretending to be open to him, but she's not feeling him sexually at all. And I don't know if he is to her. I can't really tell, but she's not into him that way, it seems. Not at all. And so then I wrote like, oh Lord, are we going to have to listen to Maddie cry all season? I wrote down eye roll. I'm like, she should have left with him then. So this was when everybody was getting ready for bed. Maddie was having a little bit of a moment in the vanity room. Next scene is everybody sleeping. I thought it was cute, Deb coming outside to wake up Zeta. It seemed like a little girl on Christmas morning waking up mom because like she wants to open presents. You know what I mean? It was just so like coming down all sleepy to wake up Zeta. I thought that was a cute Deb moment. So in the morning, we didn't have any morning chats, which we like, that's kind of, I always think to be a staple of Love Island is like in the morning, they go in UK anyways, they go out to the terrace and have a chat about the night before, about like what went down the evening before. And they didn't do that. It went directly into, I've got a text, 3 new Islanders are coming in. So they were onto such a good thing. Why are they deciding to ruin it by oversaturating it with people that we don't care about?
I don't have a clue, because that was the first thing I thought. And then those dates that they ended up having were the most boringest things that I've ever sat through. And I was like, this does not bode well, because I knew we knew the guy was staying. It was just who he was going to pick, obviously. And then it was like, I just had a feeling those girls were going to stay. I think they think that that's the drama that they can continue now that Zimmy's over. And I just don't feel like that was the correct idea to go with, personally.
Yes, exactly. So Isaiah is going to be in. Isaiah is who Catherine wants to go on a date with for her entree, and Catherine wants to go on with Chaz for the dessert. And seeing Catherine, I do not think that there is any part of her that is actually interested in Chaz, like 0%, 0%, like zero. So Maddie is going to obviously go on a date with Jared. She's going to be his entree, and then Deb is going to be his dessert. And I was like, okay, so we can see that. And they even said on the show, like, oh, he clearly has a type, which seems to be blonde. So Jeff is going to be going on a date with Nadja for the entree, and Nadja's going to take Isaiah for dessert. So both women are choosing Isaiah to go on a date with. And I'm just like, okay, Isaiah's good looking, but he's 21, and from what I've seen on the show, I would not be interested in him, like, in the least. And so I found it really interesting that both those women want this seemingly toxic 21-year-old.
Kat is 21, right?
That's true, and Nadja, I think, is 23.
Yeah, so I mean, I think if they were going to go hit the people that, in my opinion, they were going to hit, which are Chaz, Isaiah, and Jeff, those are literally
the youngest
their
people.
age group. So that, like, literally, that's what they brought them in to do. It's unfortunate, because if they had brought one less girl in, Serenity would still be here.
And then bring maybe in another person and shake things up. But, like, I don't know why they didn't give these new people more than 24 hours to, like, have conversations with people.
Correct.
It's so stupid.
Yep.
So dumb. So Chaz is happy that a girl's in here so he can apply some pressure on Serenity. And I'm like, I'm not really into you playing games, Chaz. Like you are forcing some pressure on Serenity. Like, it's just, he's just too young, and I feel like he's playing a big man game. And, like, I don't think that he realizes that it's not just, like, blowjobs is the reason why she's not, like, into you. Like, it's the fact that you are 21 and you're not that mature in different areas in your life. And so it's just annoying that she is being dumped by someone that she would never actually date in the outside world, because he's 5 years younger than her, and that she didn't have a chance. She didn't have a shot.
It's sad. It's unfortunate. And that's what I've said to people, because people were like, what do you think? I'm like, she was never really given a shot. And I wasn't the biggest Serenity fan, although I do have an edit on my social media for her and Jesse, because that would have been my pairing. Personally, I'm not a fan of him and Deb. I do not think that they have any chemistry. And so I would have rather her be with Jesse. I wish he could have picked her, but it's obvious he's just riding the Deb train that makes no sense. Anyway, I still, as she's stayed in the villa, I've absolutely enjoyed her journey. Like, I think she's been funny and fun, and yeah, it's really sad, to be honest.
Yeah, she didn't get a fair shot for sure. And, I didn't think that necessarily that her and Tyler were going to be a match, but he was at least had some interest in her at that particular time. And then they just ripped him out of there. And she didn't get to really complete that. And so she gets ripped out of there to be with this 21-year-old that, like, after he does all of his love bombing and all of his, like, you're amazing, you're the most beautiful woman, I came here for you, let me make you eggs, let me bite your shoulder, and then it's like, you're not giving me anything back, and it's like, Well, also you knew who I was. I didn't know who you are, so I have to kind of grow into you a little bit. Anyways,
Mhm.
so the fact that she got taken out of something that she was interested in exploring to something that she was forced to explore, and then when she's not moving fast enough, he's able to just jump ship and kick her off the show.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It's so unbalanced and annoying. And Chaz doesn't even have enough of a personality for me to even want him to be there. It's like I don't care about what his journey is at all.
I don't again. So that's why I kind of feel like it's like a Danny situation because I felt the same way when Danny came in the villa. It was like I don't care about this guy, but if Yuwande likes him and he likes Yuwande, fine. I but then what he did to her, I think is very similar in that then he kicked her out, and then what did we do? We voted out his person that he picked. Then he went to Casa Amor and everybody, even though maybe we kind of like Jordan, we just dumped him because nobody cared about his journey. Now, if they had broken up in a way that made more sense or he was an OG, I think maybe we would care, but I don't care about Chaz in this situation. He
They
can
can get
go.
dumped next. Yeah, they can get dumped for sure. Dump them. I don't care at all. Sydney talks to Isaiah, and she's definitely all over him. She's definitely feeling insecure. So most likely because of the hideaway, she's kind of feeling a lot more connected to him, but then also a lot more possessive and a lot more like, worried that someone's going to come and interfere with him, especially for the fact that two women have taken him on like these mini dates. They're coming into the villa with their eyes set on her man, and she's just like watching over the balcony at them, like with daggers in her eyes. And so she has a conversation with him. He doesn't really reassure her that well, but he's also quite young. Like, don't be like, well, like I'm not gonna say no. Like, it just say like, hey, like I like you, I want to get to know you, but they want to go on a date with me. We're on a show here. Like I'm gonna talk to them, but like I have something with you. I don't know. Say something to reassure her a little bit, but he didn't have the words. Why are you
At
shaking
all.
your head?
It's just so. You sent her a 21-year-old. Like, come on. You sent her a 21-year-old and a 23-year-old. Come on, man.
So what do you think about Sydney though and Isaiah?
Oh, them. I mean, I've had them breaking up in Casa More for the longest, so I don't know. Just,
They're definitely
I
a break
think
up and get
they're
back together type couple for
yeah.
sure.
I think they're very cute together. I get it, and I I I understand where they're at because they're both very young, but I just don't see them staying together like through this entire thing. So when Kat and Naja came in and he was like, oh, he was interested, I wasn't shocked. But it also, I don't think he's had a girl come in that was interested in him, right? Before this. So,
Mm-hmm.
oh, well, Val, but then she was like that he was too young.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess like if I was Sydney, I would be a little bit insecure just because she hasn't had to deal with this really yet with him, and
Mhm.
I wouldn't think that he would be the guy that people would be wanting. But you're right, it's the age thing. The fact that he is a suitable age for these two people that are coming in, or at least for Kat.
Right.
So we learned that Naja is 23, Kat, and she's looking for love. Kat is 21 and looking for a real man. What's a real man to you at 21? Someone with a job?
I
like,
don't even know.
like
I
what's a
mean,
real
I guess
man?
you could have your degree by then, right? So I don't know what she's looking
Real
for.
man? Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what a real man is, but I don't know if I'd find him at 21 on a dating reality show like this one. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I think that Timmy is a real man, but he's still like a kind of like young to be on. Like it's like a young thing to be. I don't know if it's a real man thing to come on the show. Whatever
Right.
real man means.
Right.
I
It's
don't know. I
true.
don't know. It just
Like
seems it's a little bit juvenile. The show.
Yeah, so to come on, I don't know. So the thing is, I feel like the prior versions of Love Island USA, that's kind of what they were trying to like portray themselves as. Oh, you're gonna come on here, find the love of your life, and get married, and like that's not what the guys were given. So no, like, no, you're not gonna come on here and find a real man.
Yeah, it's
I, I mean, yes, this year I feel like the guys are a little older, but they still are just no, no,
they're not there yet. Like the
they're
fact that
not
as
there
soon
yet.
as Zeta asked Timmy, like, could you see us working on the outside world, and he goes into a tailspin, like
Right,
that shows that he's not necessarily at real man level yet, and
right,
he's the most mature probably out of everybody, you know.
kind of.
So, so wrong show for looking for a real man, to be honest. So the girls are getting ready for the night, and Sydney at this point joins the girl before Hank joins the girls, and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna have to like look really good tonight." And I love Courtney's like, "Yeah, you do." She's just like, "Yeah, you do have to look really good." And Courtney definitely is growing on me. I think that I would be friends with her in the villa. I think it's probably because she's a Sagittarius, so they usually speak their minds, and yeah, she's kind of funny, and we don't hear enough of her, I feel. But I
Hmm.
do like her relationship with the women. I think that she's a girl's girl for sure. She likes relationships. She's not just there to break up relationships. I do think that she chose Bryce to be safe, but it's working for now, and so I'm team Sydney for sure. So they're getting ready for the night, and that's when we see like Nadja 23, Kat 21, Jared 23, and Jared saying like these seem like little boys. I just like, dude, 23, shut up. Little boys. I was looking at his like Instagram, and he
Hmm.
looked like a little boy like last week. Like he is like his hair just grew that length. This is the first he's only grown his hair to this length like probably 6 months ago. Before that, he had a short haircut and he looked like a young boy. So it's just very funny that he's like, oh, these guys look like boys. I think he's handsome. What do you think of Jared?
Um, he's not bad looking. He's not my type. Um, I think he has an intriguing look. And then we find out he's very multiculturally mixed. So
Mm-hmm.
that might be it. So I can see why the girls would find him handsome.
Yeah, he's good looking, but I don't know if he doesn't seem to me like he has swag.
Mm-hmm.
He's a nice guy, but he doesn't have swag. And so I'm not sure how well that's going to do for his journey because, yeah, he might pick somebody to get to know, but I don't know if Maddie is really going to be feeling him. You know what I mean? Like, I think she's going to entertain him for a bit, but I don't
Yeah.
see them being like the next it couple. Not at all.
No.
So the Villa girls are telling Jeff that he looks good. We see these dates play out. And Kat saying that she does mukbangs for a living. And so I actually want to find, have you found her mukbang channel yet? Or no?
No.
I forgot to look it up. But I want to see her mukbangs. Like if it's just overtly sexual or not. I'm curious to see her mukbang style.
Yeah, I was kind of tuning in and out of their. I'm telling you, I felt so bored during those dates. It's like these are boring, very boring conversations.
Well, I did feel though that Nadja and Jeff, they did have a bit
Hmm.
of a vibe.
Okay.
She talks about how she's from Columbia, but then she grew up in Georgia, so she's a little Georgia peach. I thought she had a bit of a vibe with him, and like I think he has swagger, and like I think that he's hot, and so I thought that they had swagger, but then when she was like talking to like Isaiah, she was like really all into Isaiah, and I thought that was surprising because I thought that she would have a better relationship with Jeff over Isaiah. Did you have any thoughts?
No, I'm telling you, I saw Nasha and I was like, that's Jeff's type.
Yeah, she's pretty Latina,
Yeah, I was
like
just like,
fun.
that's his, that's his type. That's probably the person that, yeah. So I was not. I didn't even look at Cat for him. So when also I saw the first look and it seemed like her and Isaiah was vibing. So it, like, to me it made sense. I never thought her and Jeff would be, even remotely. No.
What about this though? Hi, Dinah. Dinah says I think Courtney and Jeff would be a vibe.
Yeah, I mean,
I could see
again,
it.
she Naja-esque. Yeah.
True. But if Jeff is a Virgo, I don't know about Sag and Virgo. I don't really
Mhm.
know what that combination would be like. It doesn't seem
But I
like it
think
would
he's an
work.
Aries. Oh, no, no, I
Oh,
know for sure he's an Aries.
oh,
That's
if
right.
he's an Aries, that could that's fine. That word that's India and Dami potentially.
Right, right,
So
right, right.
that
They're
could
so
that
cute. Have you seen them? Oh,
no, I haven't seen. I just saw
I
a
just,
little video of him returning home and having a cake from his friends and family. I saw
yeah.
that live that he did really quickly today, but I have not. I'm sorry, everybody. I've been out of the loop. I've been on set for the last 3 days. They've been very long days, 13-hour days, and so I've not been able to keep up with everything. And so I will be back in the loop very soon, but. Yeah, basically today I had to do a bunch of podcasts and like I had an interview. It was for Pod Friends, so I will be on Pod Friends with Rob as a podcast. Matt Scott interviewed me today for his podcast on Rob has a podcast, so that will be coming out on Sunday. So that's why we're a little bit late for this one because that pod got into a little bit late. You know how these things go. So I'm back though. I think we're gonna be able to catch up soon. And then I will be able to catch up on some of these lives from these Islanders. And I want to also like put some of them on my channel just so people can catch them if they miss them. So hopefully I'll be able to get up to date with that soon. Yeah, so I agree. I do think that Courtney and Jeff could be a vibe. Hi, Jazz. Thanks for being here. She agrees with me that she's not into Chaz at all. Like, Kat is not into Chaz at all. So we're on to episode 15 now. I did learn that Kat is an Aquarius. So Aquarius and Chaz, who's a Cancer, is also not where it's at. He is not going to take her unemotional, like, straightforwardness. I don't think that they're going to get along at all in the long run. I think that you would have a better chance with Serenity because Serenity at least is another water sign, so she's going to understand emotions a little bit better. But I do not see him and Kat being able to. They already don't really get along. Like they're not. She's not really that into him,
Right.
and she's just being nice, I believe, so she can get chosen. But B, like Aquarius and Cancer, not the greatest.
Yeah.
At all. So Deb brings burnt brownies to Jared. Like, because we see them all cooking and like Jared, Deb burns these brownies and she still gives them. She's like, here you go, don't eat it. Deb. Catherine says to Chaz though, like, she thinks that he's what every girl needs. Well, do you know what? She says every girl. She doesn't say what she needs. And that, her putting it on other people, to me says that she's not interested in him connecting, being what every other person needs to her. And so that also tells me that she's pushing him away at arm's length. Because she didn't say, like, you're exactly what I need. Like, you're the exact type of man that I've been looking for. She says, like, you're the type of man that every woman needs.
True.
And is it like the woman that every woman chooses? No, because Kat is not going to choose you at the next recoupling. No. I said that. So India does say that. Sorry, Nadja does say that she's definitely attracted and intrigued by Isaiah, and it's still shocking to me because he's so transparent. Like he's not shocking or intriguing to me at all. Maybe if I was 16, I'd be like, oh my god, he's so hot. He's such a bad boy. Like his tattoos, he's emotionally unavailable. Like he's kind of wild. Like he's so hot. But like as an adult, I would not find him to be attractive at all. I'd be like, you're too childish for me. Childish. Hi, Sam. So Sam says my thing is these girls' personalities aren't appealing on TV, so getting rid of Serenity just for this boringness is bad. Yeah, Sam, it is bad.
It was if Serenity is out, which is looking very much like she out. That was the dumbest. And again, I will preface this to say I was not the biggest Serenity fan, but I think that was dumb. These two girls are not bringing what Serenity was bringing to the villa. I don't think there's anybody there that's filling her hole. I don't see Maddie is boring. Kat, I don't care. Naja looks like she's a sour sap too. So why? Why?
I don't know. Too much melanin, I guess, in the villa. I don't know.
Funny. I don't think Deb is funny. I'm sorry. I might be the
Every once in a
minority.
while she says something cute or funny, but I don't
Not as
find her to
funny
be.
as Serenity was to me.
No. Like, even just like the fact that everybody's clipping Serenity saying, like, what was it, the broke down hideaway, or what was it, the
She said so much funny things in the
hideaway,
last week.
the
Is
low
it
budget
Broke Down
hideaway? It wasn't
Off
broke down.
brand hideaway. Off brand hideaway. That was
And like
funny.
everybody, like that's in everybody's title. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like one little thing that she says, and not you having an off-brand hideaway.
Yeah.
And like we don't get those clips from Deb. I do like Deb because the fact that she really likes Zeta. But other than that, I don't really care for Deb that much.
Mm-mm.
So Dinah, I agree with you. I do think that Kat used Chaz to get into the villa, and that's what he's gonna get. Exactly. Going home just like his sister. Exactly. He's 21, so he might not be too bright. We in these type of situations realize that if you want to get picked, you're more likely to get picked later with Serenity than you are if another guy that comes around that Kat is interested in. So,
right.
So he's not playing for the long game. He's playing it's kind of vindictive, I think, a little bit. Like, oh, you're not giving me what I want. I'm going to choose somebody else.
Right. I think somebody said on Twitter that it was all a plan between him and his sister. And that she's gone, so he's enacting the plan. It's like, hey, maybe that's possible. Never know. I don't think it's a smart plan. A smarter plan would have been at least stay with Serenity until Casa Amor. Mm-hmm. Come back with different people. Have your fun.
Exactly.
Elongate he's going to be dumped Sunday. Out of all those couples, because I think Jeff might try to make this Naja thing work somehow. Until then, because he has more game, I feel like he'll figure it out. He'll jam the hole in to make it fit for a bit. But Chaz, no game. And it's not he's gonna be dumped on Sunday. I'm sorry. I just personally feel that. Him and Kit Kat. So bye.
Bye. Totally agree with you here, Jess. Jessica, yeah, I'm so surprised that Naja is into Isaiah. I don't get it. He seems too immature for her. I agree, but maybe she's just trying to come in to the drama so she can have a storyline. Maybe? I don't know. It's very surprising. What that's about.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I saw the first look and I was like, I'm so confused at this, but I think that's why they kept her, like, so that she could try to crack on with Isaiah while she was still in the villa. So like they're trying to elongate that drama that they no longer have with Timmy, Zeta, and Bria, which y'all could have kept Bria. If y'all were gonna do that, y'all could have kept Bria in the fucking villa.
Honestly, if they kept Bria in the villa, it would have shaken out so much better. Because Bria would then have probably cracked on with Jeff, because Jeff seemed a little bit upset for the fact that he didn't get a chance to explore things further with Bria. And then, bye Maddie, bye Andy, who cares? Then if these new women came in, so who would have been available? It still would have been Chaz. I guess it still would have been Isaiah. I guess it would have been the same.
Yeah, they probably should have brought one less girl.
Well, this is what Tasha's saying here. So Tasha's agreeing with you. They wanted to send a girl home because if it was just one girl that came in, no one would go home. Right. Mm-hmm. And why? You could tell which women are going to be sent home most likely. You know that Chaz is not and her are not really working that well. And so is it entertaining just to see someone get dumped? I don't think that they understand. It's not entertaining for people to get dumped. It doesn't feel good. Like,
It's
it's like
not.
seeing people like not getting a chance at love and then they just get dumped. Like, it's not good TV. It's kind of like in like reality TV shows, competitive ones like Big Brother, where people get evicted on the first night. I'm like,
Yeah,
this is not interesting. Like,
yeah,
it becomes interesting when there's a drama attached to it. So whether it's like, oh my God, this person really has a connection with these two people, and we see it, and they have to make a decision, and they have to like dump someone. Like, Chaz doesn't care about Serenity that much, and he was like, oh, let me go and see if I can cuddle up with this new girl. It's giving me some attention. Like,
yeah.
okay, bye, Serenity. Like, there's no drama, there's no tension there. So it falls on deaf ears because like it doesn't matter, and it just like, oh, we're just seeing this poor Black girl get dumped by
Yes.
somebody that was never really into her, that she was never really into, and she never really had a shot at love. I'm like,
Right.
that's a terrible storyline. If you
If
were
they
writing
had,
a book, you would not write this storyline.
right, if they had brought in the girls and Jared, had them crack on till tonight, so that means they would have been there like 3 or 4 days in the villa, and then dump somebody tonight or tomorrow, or Sunday, we might feel different. I don't think we would feel differently about Serenity leaving, but I'm saying that we would at least see the chemistry to say, okay, I kind of understand why he chose her, because they weren't vibing, but they're vibing. Like, I don't like. There's no vibe. There's no
Maybe
vibe.
they didn't want to give them too much time for Chaz to realize that it's better for him to stay with Serenity.
That's why I'm saying I feel like this was a producer. I think they were trying to get that drama that they've seen before. Oh, if we do this, and then Serenity's a really important person in the villa, and if we dump her, then all the girls are gonna go crazy and they're gonna go after Chaz, and they're not gonna. But Zeta's in the villa. It's Zeta in the villa. She's not gonna allow that to happen.
Mm-mm.
She's gonna be pissed.
Mm-hmm.
But she's not going to allow that to happen. Like, nobody's going to, like, you're not getting Anna Amber Yewande situation. And even Danny was in the damn villa for longer with Yewande, that like absolutely deserved the kickoff that he got.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. RC says that she loves your edit with Serenity and Jesse. I haven't seen it yet.
Hopefully, if they're not available tonight, they can crack on after the villa. But I thought they had such potential. I really did. I really wish for a different edit on on their love story for real, because I am not feeling Deb and Jesse. I know there are people who are absolutely in love with them. I see no chemistry. They don't even talk. I don't know. The only person who seems to be really into them is Andy. That was also something he said on his exit interview, that they are his favorite couple. Jesse's moving to LA, and Deb lives in LA, so they're going to be so good together. I was like, guy, you'd be lucky if they make it out this villa. I don't know what you're talking about, but he's the only one that's come out of the villa saying that. Everybody else, Felipe, Tyler, everybody else is talking about Timmy. But I think that also is a reflection of the relationships he had in the villa, because I don't think he was close to Timmy, because Timmy is close to Isaiah, who also, and Felipe, who are not close to Andy. Like, they literally hated him.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that makes sense. And also the fact that Andy doesn't seem to know how to have an authentic relationship, and he doesn't see or understand at this point what an authentic relationship looks like, or real connection looks like. And so that's maybe why he's fooled by whatever's going on between Deb and Jesse, because he doesn't know authenticity, in my opinion. Hi, Jess. So Jess loves Serenity, shaking my head. Yeah, it's really unfair. Hi, Juan. So I think Jesse is the only guy Serenity was remotely interested in.
Is it just me who feels that way? Obviously
not. Never forget Serenity only stepped forward for Andy. Ooh, Ava. Sorry.
And how well has that worked out? He was terrible.
Oh, Danita's like, Serenity put life into the villa, and she started to grow on me more and more each episode. I agree. She grew on me more and more each episode. Hi, Mary. So Mary says, I'm annoyed that people are acting like Serenity owed Chad's affection to be into him. He was not a real possible match. They sent a genuine possible match for Deb, Maddie, and Courtney. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the whole thing of this is people do not realize that Chaz is 21. When you say it to people that she is 28, he is 21, they're like, oh, I didn't realize that was there was such a big difference, because Serenity does like act a little younger than her age. So I think they're thinking she's, 23, 26. She's 28.
Oh,
Like,
I thought she was 26. She's 28?
I think she's 28.
I thought she was 26.
I thought she and Zeta was not too far off from each other.
I thought that she and Maddie were both 26. I could be wrong. Let us know in the chat if you guys know offhand or like quickly. I thought that she was 26. If she's 28 and he's 21, like get that's wrong. That's so wrong. So Tasha says they must have sent in Jared specifically for Maddie. At no point did they send in a guy specifically for Serenity.
They've never sent it. That's what I said. They've never sent in a guy. She's 28. I know I'm not crazy. She's 28.
Wow. What is a 28-year-old woman doing with a 21-year-old boy?
But that's what she said. She said, listen, we have like a great relationship in here, but I don't see, first of all, if he still lives in Jersey, he's 21. She's 28. She lives in New Orleans. How is that supposed to work? I don't feel like what she was saying and how she was reacting was unreasonable.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I just don't understand the show's MO. And it's very annoying. She's 28. Wow. I really, all this time I was thinking 5 years. 7 years is even worse. 7 years, like even like 50 to 43 is still a big gap. You know what I mean? And like you've lived a lot of life. So like 28 to 21, that's even bigger gap range, because like you do a lot of living in your 20s. And the fact that he hasn't done any. He just started drinking this year. Like what? Like literally this year. He's a cancer.
Right, but everybody's like, well, why did she like Tyler? I said, everybody, hello, Tyler, 23, finished his master's already. Mm-hmm. Like that makes more sense to me. And that's what the 5 years age difference that you were talking about. Mm-hmm. But he's already more established in maybe a career or whatever.
Well, and he also seems to know how to be with a woman. Like he seems to have been on dates before. He seems to be a little bit more mature and emotionally, open to relationships. So he seemed more mature to me. He didn't seem as young as 23. Chaz seems like 21. He doesn't seem more mature. Mature maybe in the sense that he knows how to make breakfast.
Yeah.
But other than that, he's not MO. Like how he gets the girls and be like, yeah, I'm so mature because I'll make you breakfast, but really I have no substance.
Yeah, pretty much. Because when they got to the Mrs. and Mr. competition, to me, I was like, oh no, his answers are immature. They're immature. Mm-hmm. For a 28-year-old woman? No. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ooh, and imagine them having to do like sex position like challenges. Like I'd be so uncomfortable.
And then his sister was in the please. Please.
Jessica says that Kat is looking for views on her YouTube. All Kat kept talking about was her mukbang channel. She made sure to mention that anytime she could, and she wasn't even pronouncing it. What did she say? She was going like mukbang? Maybe that's more.
Apparently saying it wrong.
Is that wrong? Because like I was just like I feel like
it's mukbang.
I feel like it's mukbang, yeah. But I'm not 100% sure. Right. But I felt like how she was saying it. I've never heard anybody say it that way, so I'd have to say that I don't know. She might be wrong. So yeah, she's not it for me at all. What happened next, huh? So I said I was laughing that Courtney is happy that they added at least some hot people into the villa, because Courtney's like, yeah, like I wouldn't want to talk to anybody that wasn't like as hot as we are. So I like that she even like she's superficial and she's being honest about it. She's not pretending like she's like not superficial in that way. So
Right.
I chuckled at her being like, I hope that because I sometimes think that way. I'm just like, oh, I hope they don't bring down our stocks here. You know what I mean? Like you're in a group of like people. So I thought it was funny. I agree, Dinah. Maddie doesn't even seem into Jared. She's not. She just wants to stay into the villa. She just wants to stay there. Hi, Charlene. So Charlene says, poor Jeff. He still is a second choice. Nadja is really into Isaiah. Well, she will figure out when Isaiah is not going to. Isaiah has too much of this sexual energy with Sydney, and Sydney is, I think, the type of hot that he really, really likes and is attracted to. I think that Nadja is stunning, absolutely, but I don't know if her hotness is what he likes. I think that he's more into Sydney's hotness and Sydney's kind of like, I want you, and it's like this kind of like youthful passion. You know what I mean? I think that he's more into that.
I can see a scenario where Isaiah is absolutely more interested in her
in Nadja.
Oh, no, Sydney, yeah. In Sydney than Sydney is in him. I the only way I think we get a scenario where he ditches Sydney, I think is Casa Amor, where she is not in there to remind him of the energy that they have together.
Yeah.
And that he could maybe see if he has an energy with somebody else. But Sydney being in the same villa with whoever this person is, I don't see him turning his head. I just don't.
So Charlene is hoping that Jeff will find someone in Casa Amor. That's kind of what he needs to do. He needs to just stick with this girl, Nadja, till Casa Amor and go find somebody that's on his level if she's not that into him. And that maybe could be the next. They might be able to make it there.
Yeah, like I said, I'm sure. Listen, he said he spits the same game over and over again. All he's going to do is, like I said, fit that little hole in until Casa Amor and elongate his. People seem to like him. I think he's a player.
He's a player for sure.
But he's handsome. He's different. They like different sometimes. And so I think he'll stay in the villa for a while. And I said, would it be funny if he gets the finals? Because right now I don't see any other couple like other than like I don't see it.
Did you notice when Bria left that Jeff and Bria kissed on the lips? They pecked on the lips when she was leaving. I was like, oh, they're pecking on the lips.
Talking about Timmy in her exit interview.
Was she what? I haven't seen it. What'd she say?
Oh, well, on the show, she said, oh, I think in a different situation, him and I would be together still.
Maybe, but it's just because,
there
might not have been anybody better. If Zeta never existed, maybe.
Yeah. If you were the OG and Zeta was the bombshell, no. Zeta would just not have to be a thing.
Yeah, Zito couldn't be involved in the equation, and he wouldn't know. Like, I think that he is shocked by the connection that he has with Zito.
He is absolutely shocked. Every day. You could tell.
He's like, oh my, I've never, it seems like he's never felt this way about somebody so soon, having such a connection. I think he's probably more familiar with whatever vibe he had with Bria. This like a possessive girl that like won't let him do what he wants, but like I don't think that he's had this chemistry with somebody before. And Bria, they might have worked in the villa for a bit, but I don't think that she would ever have the chemistry that he has with Bria.
No. And that's what I think. Again, I think the factors that really work for them are that I love when a man like falls for a girl and it's out of nowhere for him. That's how you know it's real, because if he stays with her, it's like, damn, like I really like this person. I said that's one thing that they have going for them. They have insane chemistry together. They're both older, they're the same age. If they're both living in LA, I think they can make a real go of this.
I do Jessica, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. So the first look tonight makes me love Timmy and Zeta even more. I have not seen it yet. Zeta gives the alley-oop, and Timmy dunked it, sticking up for their girl Serenity. I haven't seen it yet. Have you seen it yet, Tamika?
I did.
And you didn't like
It
it?
just frustrated me because it was like, damn, she really gone. I held out hope. I said we didn't see that text until we do. She's not gone.
I was just figured she was gone.
No.
I figured she was gone because they don't care about saving the black girls for sure.
Well, I did say that to somebody because somebody was like, "Oh, well, like maybe they don't want, they'll try to save her. They don't want the entertainment." I said, "They don't give a damn. You could be the biggest fan favorite. They will dump your ass."
Yep. So CJ says, "Hi, ladies. The whole dynamic of the villa and the show has changed completely. I hope it changes soon because people are beginning to lose interest. I mean, I'm only interested in Zimmy, but as you stated, they probably are not going to show them very much anymore.
Not right now.
I don't really care about the Sydney, Isaiah, Nadja cat drama.
Well, now they're gonna make it a Thrupp square again, right? Because Jeff, Nadja, Sydney, Isaiah. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. Unless like Nadja just starts cracking on with Jeff, I could maybe be interested in seeing how that goes. But the fact that she's sticking her flag into Isaiah is like, well, you don't know what you need to do to stay in this villa.
Literally a bunch of 21, 22-year-olds doing what 21 and 22-year-olds do. I don't care.
It's true. I'm not interested either.
I'm not interested.
CJ says, also, where's the promotion, like exit interviews, etc.? Has anyone heard from Bria or Andy?
Yes, Andy's exit interview is on TikTok.
Okay. I've not seen that yet.
So it's Felipe. There are some articles as well. Felipe did, like US Weekly or whatever. And then After the Island, which I don't promote because I don't like Elizabeth. And so, yeah, there's that. I don't mind Alex. If Alex was doing it with somebody else, like Justine or Kira or anybody else, I would watch.
Yeah, I don't enjoy Elizabeth either. Not at all. What did you think about Deb and Jesse having a really good makeout? I didn't think it was a really good makeout, but like they seemed to both think it was.
So now that somebody's interested in her, you could kiss her?
That's what I was thinking. She's like, oh my God, like.
And again, I'm going to go back. That kiss was nowhere near as good a kiss that he gave Serenity.
Okay. Well, it's so annoying though, because like, why is Deb even settling for these like literally little like crumbs, these little pecks of like of intimacy? Like, he's not giving her what she needs. And then she's saying in her ITMs like, oh, he's opening up more. And she says to him like, yeah, I appreciate you like pushing your boundaries a little bit and like becoming a little bit more open and connected to me. And I'm like thinking exactly what you said. It is because guys just took her out on a date, so he needs to step it up a bit. It's pretty transparent.
They're a terrible couple. I'm sorry. Anybody who thinks that they're good, I don't know what you're seeing. Like, describe it to me because I don't get it.
So Isaiah tells Nadja that he's open to getting to know her for sure. And I'm just like, are you though, Isaiah? Or are you just trying to create a storyline for yourself? Like, that Sydney's not going to feel good about this. Like, I don't think he knows what he's getting himself into. And then at one point he has a conversation with Timmy. I'm like, Timmy, you're not giving him good advice. Like, Timmy tells him, it's like, well, like, do you have the same connection that you do with Sydney? And he was kind of like, oh, no, I don't know. And he's like, do you think that if you don't explore something, you'll be always wondering what could be happening there? And he's kind of relating it to like, if he hadn't explored things with Bria, he would not have known how good he had it with Zeta. I actually don't think that's true. I think that they're connection would have still developed in the same way, and he
Mm-hmm.
probably wouldn't have allowed that that Bria to come in if it was like a day later. I think that it's just the timing of it that he was able to still be like, I'm still open to like meeting new people, because he hadn't allowed his feelings to really overtake him yet. So I thought it was bad advice for him to be like, you should explore it. But maybe he's just like wants the show to be good, and he's just trying to produce a little bit.
That's true. Knowing the producers, they threw it to him to
Maybe he's like, you got to go through what I went through, because you're gonna go through hell.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think that. I mean, Sydney will forgive him, I think, for anything that he does.
Yeah.
I think that he will be able to do anything that he wants. One thing that I thought that was interesting though, is that he was having some thoughts about him being in the situation, like with Sydney's feelings, and then maybe pursuing and being open to something with Nadja, and like having to make a decision between those two women. He's like, I think he said something like, my soft ass wouldn't be able to handle that, would be crying or something like that. I'm like, he knows he's soft, and he's what? He's a Pisces, right?
He's a Pisces.
Pisces
That's why I said
soft.
I can definitely see a scenario where he's more into Sydney than she is to him personally. But yeah, I just and I don't think it's that he doesn't care. Again, he's just 21.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just so young.
So young. I don't know. I just put Chaz and Serenity a debrief, but like knowing how things go, it's like, who cares? She's kind of jealous about the dates or whatever, but like I don't like Chaz at all right now. Like, I liked him making her breakfast. I liked him being a sounding board. But other than that, I don't really care what he has to bring to the villa. And I don't like the fact that he expects so much from Serenity.
Yeah.
What are you really giving?
I was just really disappointed in him. I was like, oh, I gave you a chance, and you just screwed it. Screwed the pooch there.
Everybody's screwing the pooch. So everybody's getting ready for bed. Sydney's crying about Isaiah, like going on those 2 dates, and she's being insecure. Zeta does sleep outside with Timmy. I like them so much, so they can sleep wherever they want. Sleep outside. They're super cute, and even when they're making the bed together, like, she's a joker. You're such a joker. Like, they just have a good time being together, which I definitely enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay, in the morning, what penny boots does Mr. Chaz wear? Chaz only makes his side of the bed. If I ever only made my side of the bed, like that is so petty and rude.
Terrible.
That's so
terrible.
Petty.
Who does
I'm only
that?
gonna make my side of the bed? That's petty, and like that's tacky. Tacky. And did he actually make Catherine breakfast, or was he just thinking about, or saying that he was going to? Did he actually make it?
I don't know if they showed us him actually making it, but he was literally like, I'm gonna make you breakfast, and I was like, you're not serious, right? Like, really? That's what we're doing?
So rude.
Oh,
so rude. He's a Cancer, right? So emotional. They use things that will stir things up emotionally as their power, right? So if they're young and they don't know how to use their emotions in a way that is kind and loving, it could come across as emotionally manipulative. So that's what it seems like he's doing right now, is using emotion to manipulate Serenity to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Nadja pulls Jeff for a chat. She thinks that they look good together, but she's not really vibing him. And I'm just like, girl, don't be vibing Isaiah. Vibe Jeff if you want to stay in the villa. Like, just go in on that, because you would be able to get to the villa to cast some more with him, and then you can go find somebody else. I don't think it's a good idea for her to not invest in Jeff at all, because I do not think that Isaiah will choose her in the end.
I hope she doesn't get stumped. I'm going to tell you the truth, because I don't like her.
You don't like Nadja? Why?
I don't like. There was nothing to her. I don't understand why they cast these people. What? Like, I didn't see anything in those dates that were like, oh my god, they're so cute. Like, I can't wait to watch them fall in love. Like, no.
So we see Maddie and Jared talking in the treehouse, and to me, like, they're having a conversation, and they seem to be relating on certain things about how they look at relationships and where they're at in their life. But to me, it doesn't seem like she's into him. I think that she's just saying words and, pretending like there's a potential for them, but I don't see it.
He's young
personally.
too, right? Like, he's like
23. So 3 years younger, maybe, but I don't think she was
Maybe
feeling
they
him at
just
all.
have a bunch of younger men left, and that's why they dumped Serenity, because I'm not understanding.
Well, like, maybe make your casting 25 and older, like,
right?
Because at least at 25, most people would, like, if you're 30, it's still, for me, it would be too young, but 30 and 25, they've at least lived a little bit of life, you know what I mean? And so they might have some maturity or some life experience. So, but 21, you actually haven't.
Yeah, it's true.
At all, most likely. Isaiah does have some life experience. I think he was living on his own from earlier on, I think, or I can't remember his story, but so maybe he has some life experience, so that's a possibility, but he's still very, very young. So weird. Nadja and Isaiah were chatting, and that's when he was realizing that he could cry if he thought about, like, the love square that he's about to be in. Timmy tells Isaiah that he needs to be more open, and I'm like, Timmy, don't do this to this poor guy. He can't handle it. I'm like, Timmy, you're 7 years older than this boy, and you could barely handle it. You think that 21-year-old Isaiah is going to be able to handle juggling 2 women and then breaking one woman's heart, like, or potentially breaking it? Like, he will not be able to see Sydney crying. I don't think he will be able to handle it. I don't think he will, because I think he likes her enough to not want to see her crying like that. And I don't think that he has that much of a connection with Nadja to really leave Sydney. So just don't do it. Don't do it. So then Catherine gets a text. It's going to be a recoupling tonight. Pretty much we cut to the recoupling. Like, they just move things so fast.
It's like, so there's just no build up, no lead up, like, oh my god.
Like, not how you build drama, babes.
No, it's just dumb.
So Mary says Chaz is probably going over the top with doing nice things for women to try to distract from his lack of depth in conversation and swag. Yeah, he doesn't have any game, so let me just make food. Hi, Ati. So I hate that everyone except Emily that has gotten dumped had a higher chances of forming connections than most people in the villa.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely. It's annoying. And I'm going to tell you, I'm very pissed off that Bria's gone. I'm very pissed off that if Serenity leaves, Serenity's gone. I do not feel like those should have been the ones to go.
Nicole, we agree with you. They're definitely doing these recoupling and dumpings way too fast. Like, it's not just about the recoupling and the dumping. That's not what creates tension and drama. It's having connections with people and having to make decisions that creates tension and drama. Like, we need to let those things build. It doesn't matter. We don't know the people. We don't know Kat. We don't know Nadja. So we don't care about them infiltrating any sort of relationship, right? We don't want them to be there because we don't care about them.
We don't give a damn. We don't. And nothing is going to make me give a damn about these people's journey. I don't care.
No. So Jesse's up first. He chooses Deb. Bryce, he chooses Courtney. Timmy, he's so cute. I'm on the Timmy train. He's like, he says a really nice speech, and he just talks about, like, obviously the relationship with this girl, this woman. Like, I thought he does a really nice speech, and she was moved by it. She said something like, he's so good with his words, or something that, like, he makes her feel really good about herself. And then he says, when he calls her baby Zeta in a 2-seater pull-up, I'm like, you're so cute. You didn't like it, huh?
The speech was wonderful. It really was. It was probably the highlight of the episode, which is which is crazy. And like we had the whole episode, and the highlight was a speech, and just us knowing that Timmy and Zeta will finally be in the bed together, and then they fucking dubbed Serenity. Like,
so no shocker, Jared chose Maddie, Isaiah chose Sydney, and so I didn't write it down. Did they leave the episode with Chaz choosing? Like, what happened?
oh yeah,
Chaz,
he was like, oh,
he chose Kat. Oh yeah, he said. Oh yeah, he said that a whole coupling
was like, Serenity, Serenity, Serenity. Kat, come here. What?
Wait, Dinah's saying Jesse is there only for money. He's not going to win the show, though. So if he's only there for money, I don't know how that's going to work.
He could have possibly won the show. Again, you can try to come there for the money all you want to, but there are factors to how you get the money. He might have won the money, but Timmy and Zeta are there. I don't think at this point that he and Deb, the way they're going, their track record, how the pace that they're moving, is gonna get anybody in the audience to buy into the relationship. They had us do polls last night, and they're not trending correctly, like to get any sort of prize money out of this. No,
I don't see them winning. Bria, though, she didn't have a fair chance. No, she could have chosen somebody else, and then she probably would have stayed in the villa.
Kind of did it to herself a little bit. She chose Timmy, but again, that's the bombshell life. So,
hi, Miss T Joy. Yes, we were also sad about Serenity getting dumped. Well, she wasn't chosen, so we didn't actually officially see that she's dumped from the villa. Correct? Is that what we're saying?
Yes, we did not get the text. She did not get the text. She's just standing there. I want to understand why. If they dump her tonight, I'm be so pissed. I really am.
They very well may. So Jessica says they may as well write the check to Timmy and Zeta. I love Timmy's speech. I don't see anybody being able to pick up to their level of connectiveness. What?
Jessica has something here that, like, Timmy and his ability to say words to Zeta about their relationship is probably what's gonna
seal it,
get them to win. It's gonna get them to win.
I hope so. I hope it convinces some people, because she still has a lot of people that can't stand her. And like I saw, like, I hadn't watched the other two, like those two episodes until today, and I saw people in like a Facebook group like, I hate Zeta. She's so arrogant. She's so, and I'm like, and I was like waiting to see her have done something, and she hasn't done anything. I'm like, where?
Nothing.
What is she? Why is she getting all this hate? Like, there, I said it. I hate Zeta.
They just hate her because also she's a black woman. She's confident. If they're saying she's arrogant, it's because she's confident. Because there's people who's doing the same thing to Taylor. I noticed on Twitter, like, people respond, I can't wait for Taylor to win. She deserves America's favorite. But I really like Taylor. Like, if you watch the live feeds, especially, like, she literally is my favorite person in that. And I just started watching the live feeds in the last week. And so I was like, because actually, I do want to tell you something. I was like, but what if she's playing the game and she's really not that nice, and people are like, and I watched it and I fell in love with that girl. I love her. She's amazing. She's beautiful. Oh my God.
She won Miss Congeniality in the Miss America competition.
And anybody that's come out and said, no, you guys, she's really an amazing person. I was like, no, wait, maybe she's not. And I went and watched it just to see, and oh my God, I love her. So, like, to me, a lot of it comes from a racial lens. You cannot be confident as a black woman, because they will always read it as arrogant.
Oh yeah, I definitely remember growing up. I was beat down all the time for being too confident. Oh, she's so sure of herself. Like,
yeah.
Who told her that she can have so much confidence? Like, and like, I just happened to be so like really good at a lot of different things, and people did not like me getting center of attention a lot of the times. And like, I've had to actually come into terms with, like, oh my God, I remember once that a mother was really mad, like, oh, it's too bad that you're here, because if you're here, that means my daughter's not going to get to be in the star of the show. I wish you weren't like here in the show. And I was like, oh, that's a great thing to say to a young girl, like that she wishes that I wasn't in the show or here so that her daughter can shine. I'm not stealing any light from anybody.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I remembered it in like hypnotherapy. I was like crying. I was like, oh my God, I forgot. That's why I don't let my light shine sometimes, because people are always telling me that like I'm taking from somebody else, you know? So yeah, I mean, that's the plight of a Black woman, is that if you shine too brightly, people saying that you are stealing shine from other people. And so I think that must be the Zeta thing. It must be even the Serenity thing. Like, she's shining. We can't let her shine too much. Come on now. We got to dump her. Taylor too. Like, oh, we can't let her shine. We got to hate on her. We got to tell her that she has to go. She's arrogant. She tried on her dresses.
Yeah.
She can't. If I was on the show, I would be going through my entire wardrobe being like, look what I brought. Look what I brought. Like, I would definitely be like, let's see all my outfits. As a girly girl. Okay, Nicole says, I love Zivvy. So do we. But I like seeing more than one relationship flourish. And at this rate, I don't see it really for anyone else. I agree. I do not see any other relationships really flourishing.
And it's so sad. Can you imagine if they had brought in like an Asian man an older Asian man for Serenity, or just a better Black guy in her age group for Serenity, or I mean any guy really, because they didn't really bring in quality over age guys. So can you imagine like what that could have done? We would have had two, to me, strong couples potentially, that you could maybe believe in. Maybe they could win, and we'd be like, oh my God, like I don't know which one of them could go for them. That's how it's felt like in the UK this entire season. Like you're just like, I don't know, there's like some really strong couples in there. There's some couples I don't like, and I don't care what they do. But
stronger than any couples in this season right now. All of them. Even Andrew and Tasha are stronger than any of these couples, other than Zimmy, I would say.
Yeah, that's the sad part. That's the sad part. That's why they need to stop this. This is not building anything.
Mm-hmm. Come here, cat. Okay, yeah, the disrespect. It's so true, Jessica. He purposely made that speech sound like he was picking Serenity. Yeah, he did. So just to say that the text they got earlier in the episode said the girl left single will be dumped from the island, because they knew it was going to be Serenity, so they'll say will be dumped. So Jess, you've been going back and forth with Zeta haters. Like, oh boy,
don't bother. I did that last season with Cash haters. Some days, like now that Cash is back on the challenge, I have to tell my fingers not to do the walking because people piss me off. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
Mary says, I think that Serenity is gone, but in the app they asked, how do you feel about Serenity being left solo? Gives me some hope that the producers were smart and found a way to keep her. Well, like, why can't she be like left single and then maybe some more guys come in? Like, I don't know why they need to dump her.
I don't know.
I know, I'm praying that she's still here. I don't think that this is a good journey.
This is dumb.
I know, I can't think the Zeta haters they suck. They suck. Well, that's pretty much it for this episode. I'm glad we were able to catch up. So do you want to go live for tonight's episode right after the episode, or maybe a little bit later? I'm going to go live with the boys right now. They are already live. I'm going to jump into the challenge recap, and then I'll watch the episode. Do you want to go live now, or do you want live tomorrow, or I'm sorry, live on Sunday, do a double or something?
No, we could go after the episode. That's fine.
Okay, so it'll be a little bit later on tonight. We'll go live and talk about this most recent episode that will be airing tonight, like in a half an hour. Anything else you want to talk about from these two episodes?
No, as I said, somebody tweeted, we had all these Black people in the villa and how beautiful it was. And I said, you just jinxed us. You just jinxed us. And look at what happened.
Yeah, definitely jinx. Yes, Jess, come on over. So everybody, if you haven't, well, you're here. So if you're watching the Challenge USA, come and jump over. Myself and the boys, so Drew and Chris, will be talking about the Challenge USA episode 5. FYI, there's a vote tonight, so everybody be sure to vote. Yes, we will vote. I can't vote, but actually, maybe I'll try to see if I can set up a text service and then vote. Thank Thank you so much, Dana, for the super chat. Appreciate you. See you later on tonight. Danita, I'm listening to the boys and y'all, Chantal, they're talking about Sarah enticing me for. Oh, okay, I got to get in on that because I don't like Sarah. Okay, we'll see you guys later on tonight. Thank you for being here. Charlene Leslie is saying I'm disappointed the app today, so I downloaded the app today so I could vote. Perfect. Everybody vote. I don't know what the vote's going to be about, but hopefully we will vote correctly. We'll figure out who to vote for while we're still on live later on tonight. If we have time, we'll figure it out. All right. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Please subscribe to both of our channels. We love having these conversations with you. So, Realnesss with 3 S's and Entertainment Color on all social media platforms. Like this video and leave us a comment as to whether or not you think that Serenity is the rightful person to be dumped from this episode, or if it should have been somebody else. What do you think about this dumping obsession that this season has so far? Let us know.
Wait.
What?
I will be streaming Color Watch Party at 9:00.
Okay.
On Twitch.
Perfect. Color Watch Party. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys later, and hop over with me and the boys. Bye.